I'm going to call to order this special meeting of council Wednesday, February 13th at 3:03 p.m. Looking for approval of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Parkinson, second by Councillor Kobayashi. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. 3.1, Fire Chief, replacement of Fire Engine 51, and the purchase process. There's a recommendation that the Fire Chief report regarding the replacement of Engine 51 be received, and that staff award the RFP to Hub Fire Engines for the purchase of a replacement Fire Engine 51 for delivery in 2020 at a price to not exceed $1,048,970.22. That is quite specific, Chief. And that the city fund the purchase of the Engine 51 replacement with the Fleet Replacement Reserve. Discussion? Seeing none, then I will look for a motion to that effect. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Baxter, second by Councillor Kobayashi. One last chance. Any other discussion regarding this? This is 3.1. Yep. Okay, great. Mike, please.
First question, in here you talk about the fire department was encouraged by FUS to keep our fleet up to date to maintain our insurance industry rating for the municipality?
Through the chair, yes. That is, in conversations with FUS, we did go through a detailed review and study reclassification of the city a number of years ago, and at that time we were able to increase our rating to a better position, and that was with changes in fire department equipment, technology, radios, water supply, working with the CRD, and also our pump rating capacity as it relates to dwelling protection and commercial protection.
So how close were we to losing or being in the bad books of the FUS?
Well, we actually did better than where we were previously. So this purchase is trying to maintain that rating as the community develops. Unfortunately, our ability to further improve on our FUS rating as calculated by the fire underwriters is limited, that we do not currently have overnight staffing. So our staffing model is 7 days a week during the day, and primarily volunteer response after hours with pagers. Our fire underwriters rating will only be significantly affected if we actually enter into that, but that's something farther down the road.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I see in here it says the replacement of fire engine will meet or exceed all the new and current emission standards as set by the state of California. However, the cost to meet the new standards has added approximately $50,000 to the capital cost of a new fire engine and will increase maintenance expenses due to the required exhaust scrubbing devices, a high temperature emission burning system, related cooling systems. So how does going to that level compare to the other fire departments in the region? Is this sort of the step everybody's going to? Does this put us way in front of everybody, or are we sort of about where people are going with fire equipment and other heavy equipment?
Through the chair, this is a standard action from major manufacturers. All the major manufacturers have adopted the emission standards set by California, which tend to be the most restrictive in the United States. And every time they change the emission standards to affect carbon or diesel or emissions, it reflects, the engines have to be re-engineered. So recently, or the last few years, there's exhaust scrubbers, kind of like catalytic converters, that have made it into the major manufacturing process. Those tend to be more expensive, and every time they change the standard, it adds more money to the manufacturing costs. So to answer directly your question, yes, we will be on par with all current emission standards.
If another municipality in the CRD was buying a fire truck, they would they'd get the same stuff on this?
Yes, they would. It is my understanding that both, we're looking for a purpose-built fire engine, but these standards are also reflected in commercial brands like Freightliner, Sterling, things like that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to call the question then. Unless the fire chief, do you have anything to add before I...
I would just like to thank Your Worship and Council for the opportunity to bring this forward. This is a piece of apparatus that was purchased in 1994, and I remember in my previous fire department, we went down and looked at our new fire engine that was being built in the Lower Mainland for Whistler Fire Department, and I was with the chief of the department, and we walked into the backyard, and there's Whistler's fire truck, and there's Colwood's Engine 5.1 was sitting right next to it. It is a little bit of prophetic that now I'm fire chief here, and I'm actually replacing the engine that was sitting right beside Whistler's engine back in the day. Thank you very much, and...
Well, that must mean you're really old. I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. Moving on to... No, sorry, just before I do, I realized we didn't have any public participation in this. Is it mandatory that there's public participation in an agenda?
Thank you, Mayor Martin. No, there's no requirement to have public participation at a special council meeting. Yep. It's in the procedures bylaw specific to regular council meetings. You can always offer the public an opportunity at your will, though.
Sure. All right. Does anybody have a public? No? Okay. Then we're going to go on to 4.1. Thank you, Corporate Officer. Moving on to City of Colwood Bylaw number 1750. This is for first, second, and third reading.
Move first reading.
Point of order. I just want to make sure, are we okay because this is a bylaw? That I just went and listened to what you said about that we need 2/3 available today, so I'm not too sure.
No, we were speaking about official community plan adoptions earlier prior to the meeting, and I think that's what you're referencing. For this bylaw, it's a simple majority of those present.
Great, thank you. So I have Councillor Baxter moving it. I need a seconder. Councillor Parkinson, you guys can compete today. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried? I need somebody to move second.
Move second.
Seconded by Councillor Parkinson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried?
Move third.
Thank you. Parkinson. Actually, no, Councillor Kobayashi will mix it up a little bit for you. Yeah, so he seconded it. So all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. 4.2, City of Colwood Bylaw 1755, first, second, and third reading.
Move first.
Second by Councillor Kobayashi. That's how this is going to go. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried? No, we're on second. No. You can move second.
Yeah, that was the vote on first.
Councillor Parkinson moved second.
Keep up with it, Stuart.
Thank you. Councillor Kobayashi seconded second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried? Thank you.
Move third.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried? Motion to move in camera?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I need to, sorry, thank you, but do I need to read this, what you've written when I move in the camera, that the meeting be closed to the public according to section 90.1 and 90.2? I'm supposed to read that?
It is good practice, yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry, let me just read that and then we'll go. So, motion to close the meeting to the public, that the meeting be closed to the public in accordance with section 90.1G and I of the Community Charter, G being regarding litigation or potential litigation affecting the municipality, and I is the receipt of advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. Moved by Councillor Baxter, seconded by Councillor Kobayashi. All those in favor? Great.